Okay, you played your last game before you got your injury out there. Carling Cup final, won, scored. Is it true that you might be able to play your next game there in the Community Shield? How's your training going? How's your fitness?
Yeah, I'm in full training with the lads now. It'd be ironic, wouldn't it, playing your last sort of game and then coming back from injury and playing your next game in the Charity Shield, but that's still sort of a week or so away. I'm in full training. We're waiting for the lads to come back from America now. So all the World Cup lads and all the lads that were sort of injured over the summer never travelled to America, so we're just all training together at the minute and waiting. So we've got a game in the middle away in Ireland. So hopefully I can start getting some minutes on the pitch now.
So yeah, so how long does it take you to get match fit? How many matches do you need to play? You know, you've been in this position before, as we know. How long will it before you can come on and contribute?
Well, I mean, obviously training every day helps. It sort of, you know, when you're away from the ball and away from playing, you almost lose your hand-eye or foot-eye coordination, and
yeah.
you know, just little things sort of take time to come. So training helps that. In terms of fitness, then you can do all the running in the world, and you need to do all the running in the world. But until you play in a match, then it almost feels different. You really are breathing after 5 or 10 minutes when you're not fit. And so yeah, I mean, hopefully I can get a few minutes in Ireland, and hopefully I can get a few minutes here, and sort of build towards the season. Really, I mean, I wouldn't be ready to go into 90 minutes straight away, but it'll be a sort of a stepping stone type of thing.
I'd like to see you, Michael, come off the bench, score a goal, make it 3-1 to Chelsea. Just just so you got a bit of pride.
Start believing you then when you were talking.
No, so how are you enjoying United?
I love it. I mean, it was a fantastic move, a dream move for me. I played at obviously Liverpool, Real Madrid, Newcastle. So I've been away from home for sort of 5 years in my last two clubs, and to come home to be able to live at home and travel into work half an hour every day to get to the training ground is fantastic for me and my family. And then, I mean, not to mention the sheer quality of the club. I was going to say the players, the manager, everything about it, but I mean it is the club as a whole is just different to many other places, and it's a fantastic club, fantastic place to be plying your trade and training with them players every day. It just no doubt improves you.
United brought a new player in, haven't they, Hernandez? Have you seen anything of him? Is that a bad thing for you that you got more competition, or is it a good thing?
Well, of course it's a good thing for the club. I mean, I've only seen him in bits in the World Cup, and obviously he played in his first game for Man United on the pre-season tour last night. So, but yeah, he looks like a good goal scorer. He's young. He's obviously from South America, so it'll be important that he settles into the English way of life, let alone the English Premier League. So obviously the club will help him to do that. And he's another young player. I mean, the manager tends to buy young players with a lot of potential and tries to develop them. And obviously he's worked his magic for many years doing that. So yeah, so hopefully he's another one. And we have got a lot of young good strikers now, so hopefully they'll complement us.
Actually, the one thing Sir Alex does is he does bring through a lot of youth players. Obviously, that was the same for you when you were at Liverpool. You were lucky enough to come through early and get in the team. Do you think there's enough of that going on in the Premiership at the moment?
Well, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, if you're top quality, then yes, you'll get through and you'll get your chance, just like all the top players that are playing in the England team. Where my fear is obviously the either the slow developing type of players or the players that are decent, solid professionals. I'm all for top foreign players coming over, but average players that could are taking the place of our lads. That's where I see the problem, and that's something that, in fairness, the authorities seem to be addressing. I mean, this coming year there's a restriction, and I hear it's going to sort of get more and more every season from now on. So hopefully that'll improve, our homegrown players, and in turn improve the chances of our national team doing well.
You were telling me earlier you're only 31. You got a bit of a way
30.
to go. 30.
31 when my contract expires.
What age do you think you can go on to? Because you got a bit angry last season, did you, where people were talking about your injuries? Because you're like, well, I haven't been injured for ages, and how long do you think you can go on to?
Well, To be honest, I don't want to play for, when I'm 40 something. I mean, because I want to finish at the top. I don't want to, drop down levels and things like that. So, so I'd love to finish my career where I am. And, we'll see if that happens. I mean, if I was still feeling great and obviously the club didn't want me anymore and I was only 31, then there might be other good opportunities, but I certainly wouldn't be dropping down and down and down, to prolong my career. I mean, I'd want to quit while I was ahead and while I was on, reasonable top of my game. So, but yeah, at 30, obviously I started football, my career really early, so everyone probably thinks I'm 35 by now, so a lot of people are surprised when I say I'm 30.
You're still young Michael Owen to me. Yeah. You're an old head on young shoulders, that's what everyone used to say about you. So what are you going to do when you retire? Have you thought about that yet?
I have, yeah, and it's touching on the question before. I mean, when you're young, you just think you're going to be a footballer all your life, and probably until 3 or 4 years ago I was still thinking that way, and you start sort of hitting your late 20s and you're thinking, do I want to stay in the game? Do I want to give management a shot? Do I want to, maybe work in the television or media or something? Or, and you start thinking about it, definitely. And you had asked me 3 years ago and beyond, and before I would have said no chance of being a manager, and now I almost think, why not? So you never know. I mean, I wouldn't say I will give myself I will have a shot at it, but, when the manager talks to us now, I actually think about it in a different way to how I used to. So he'd tell you something, you'd think, right, let's go and do it. And, and now you almost think, why? What's he trying to get at? How he motivates? Is it working? Is it not working? How did people react? And you almost start thinking about from the other side of the fence yourself now. So, and all older players do it, I mean. So yeah, it started to intrigue me, the management side of it.
Okay, well, you're working with Sir Alex. Without being disrespectful for any other managers, he must be up there amongst the greats. Well, he is up there amongst the greats. You must be learning a lot of him then.
Well, that's right. And you look at the managers I've sort of played under. There's been quite a lot of top managers, but obviously to have ended my career and not sort of had someone or not played under the most successful manager of our time would have left a little gap, just as not winning a Premier League would leave a little gap if I didn't manage that. So there's a couple of things that in your career you think I'd love to do that, and when you're always looking from afar, you're thinking, I wonder what his team talks are like. I wonder what it'd be like to play under. I wonder what it'd like to play in that team with the Giggses and the Scholes and all the players that they've had over the years. So so there's been a lot of boxes ticked off from moving to Man United, and it's been fantastic in that way.